I am in Topsham, just about to go see the chiropractor. I've had pain. It's kind of like in my lower left back. I've had it for a few weeks and it's getting worse every time like I hit balls in the range. So I'm going to go see him. He's also TPS certified, so he has got decent knowledge on the golf swing as well. I've never been treated, so I know I'm tight in certain areas, so it's going to be interesting to see exactly what comes of this and how it's going to help with the long drive stuff. So I'm going to go and do that now and then get back. So yeah, just got back from the session. As you can see, I'm on my sofa now, not at the chiropractor's. That was really good. Like, we started off with a lot of tests to see like if I had any weakness. Now obviously I said that I had the pain in my back, and after doing all the tests, it came to the conclusion. Now I kind of wanted him to do it, but he didn't have any time to talk through all this after, because he had to see another guy. But the problems were lack of mobility in the hips and like the thoracic area, so up here, which meant I was putting a lot of stress and pressure on my like mid spine, which is where that pain signal was being sent. Now he would explain this in a more like articulate way and a bit more detail, but that's kind of the gist of it. Now I'm seeing him next week. We're going to go over more treatment, and I'm going to be working on the exercises for here. Until then, I can't do any long drive training for the next week, at least kind of like until next Monday. So yeah, another 6 days. I get in the gym in 2 days time. So for the time being, mobility work and then the exercises that he's given me. But I mean, what he did say is that I was tight in areas and I was losing potential power in certain areas, where if I, you know, did the exercises and, you know, worked on the things we're working on, there's going to be more power. So I'm kind of thinking that it could be a blessing in disguise, the fact that I felt that pain, which has caused me to go and see him, which has now like shown me that there's areas that again I can increase my speeds. So you know. So yeah, that's where we are. Right, just to start this off, my back is actually feeling really good now. I didn't think I was going to actually risk it and start hitting shots yet, but just out in the range tonight, it's felt fine. So I can't thank Ian enough with the work that he's done. And the great thing is about Ian, like I said, he is TPS certified and he knows so much about the golf swing, and it's just given me another area that I can improve. So we're going to do a bit more work together. I'm booked in with him next week, and he also wants to come up the range with me to do a session and do some release stuff up there and see kind of what difference that makes to the golf swing itself. But as you can see, I'm out hitting balls, and I'm just going to let this overlay. I put out for a Q&A on Instagram a couple of days ago. So what I'm going to do is just find the questions that you sent me, and then we're just going to go through them literally from start to finish. I asked on Instagram. Instagram's James Wiltshire. Lots of questions, so thank you all for asking them. And I'm going to go through them literally from start to finish. So starting off with Finn Charles, what's your handicap? I'm a pro, believe it or not. So I have no handicap. When you turn pro, you lose your handicap and everything's played off scratch. Some of these are going to be like, you know, just go straight through, but some of them there's going to be a bit more depth to them. Hugh Myers, scratch match play in the near Cambridge, if you're near Cambridge this summer. So Hugh, yes, I am keen for that. Right, what I want to do is a new series, I reckon, where I just start to play with subscribers. So I'm going to start this off soon, I think. And Hugh, you may be one of the first ones, so just send me a message on Instagram with a bit more information about where you are, what club you're at, etc. And we'll try and sort this out soon. I think it'd be pretty cool just to do a playing against the subscribers series. Jack Rathborn. Right, so lowest ever round, favourite course, bucket list, top courses, top 3. That's a good question. So my lowest ever round, so I've shot 6 under around Exeter, which is the local golf course to myself, which is where I grew up, and I probably shot that when I was 15, 16, not a fish in the competition, playing with friends that day. The lowest score I shot as a pro was 4 under around Woodbury Park, which is a course which is near me, which is literally just set up for my game. Like, hit it long, big greens, hold a few putts. Bucket list courses, top 3. So I'm just going to go with, right, so obviously it's bucket list top 3, which is quite hard. Right, this is no particular order, so I'm not going to rank them, you know, 1 to 3, but first one, St Andrews. I really want to play that, and I feel like that could be on the cards pretty soon. Second course, obviously Augusta. How can you like keep that out of your top 3? And the third one, and this is literally going off the top of my head without having any like proper deep thoughts into this. Do you know what? I'll go with Pebble Beach, just because I've had a lot of people say how amazing that course is and how the scenery is. So let's just go with those 3 for now. I'll probably look back and think, no, probably should have put something else in. But there we go, Fergalicious. That's a hell of a name, mate. Fergalicious 99. How far can you hit a pitching wedge? Alright, so when I'm out on the course, I say a standard pitching wedge generally goes around, it's kind of like in the 151 to 160 mark, and that's just like because when I'm on the course, I only really swing 70% and try to keep some sort of control. But if I wanted to hit a pitching wedge really hard, I'd close the face and hit it really hard, and I could probably get it out there like 210, maybe 220, like if I really shut it down. But obviously you're delofting the face. Benny Lee 02. What's the hardest thing about training for long drive comps? That's a tough one actually, because I guess hard is, what you find hard is subjective. I really enjoy training, so I'm not going to say that's hard. It is hard, you have to push yourself, but like, I really enjoy it. Do you know what the hardest thing for me is committing to doing the mobility work, which is so important when you're training for long drive or any sport, any athletic movement. Mobility is such an important factor, and for me that is the hardest thing to do, because I find it really, really boring. Who doesn't like stretching and stuff? It is boring, but it's got to be done, so that's the hardest thing for myself. And Benny Lee again, bit trigger happy here, mate. When will we be seeing you on the Euro World Champs, Jamesy boy? Right, Benny Lee boy 02. You'll be seeing me on the Worlds. The goal next year, I'm trying to qualify for the Worlds next year. That's the goal. The Euro Champs, I guess there really isn't like a proper Euro Champs. There's a European long drive course that's been shut down. I'm pretty sure something else is going to come up, but I'm going to be competing next year through Europe and then hopefully get into the World. So next year, let's go. Let's be confident. Sammy J Wheeler. Current weight and what's your goal weight in kilos? So my current weight is, I think I'm 94, maybe pushing 95 kilos at the moment. Goal weight, I don't really have a specific goal weight in mind, but obviously it's almost like the heavier the better, as long as you don't turn into a fat mess. So, you know, being a fat mess is gonna, that's a bit fattest, so I apologise. Being overweight is not really gonna help in many ways. Your mobility will probably decrease slightly from being like having extra fat tissue. So the goal really is just to keep putting on gradual size. As a natural person, it takes time. I guess my goal weight would be around 100 kilos, as long as I wasn't too tubby. Ollie Cow. Right, we all remember Ollie Cow from the videos before, who obviously just doesn't want me to answer any questions. So Ollie's moved to America. He's got a bit strange. He's got a girlfriend out there, and he doesn't really socialise with us anymore as a group. So I guess Ollie just didn't care about that one. Actually, Ollie may be getting moving back from America soon. So in that case, we'll get him back on the videos. Ewan Donovan, are you a pro on course or a long drive golfer? Right, so I am a pro technically, turned pro when I was 19, did my PGA, did that 3-year course that you do. I'm thinking, that's going to be worthwhile. Ended up spending a lot of money. Actually, my parents helped me out. That was my equivalent of going uni. They really did help me out, and I appreciate that massively. So they spent a lot of money. Ultimately, it's kept me in golf, but I'm literally rambling on about the PGA. That's a separate video. So I am a pro, yes, still a pro technically. Haven't got my amateur status back, or long drive golfer. So pretty much I'm a long drive golfer that's a pro. Hockey James, diet tips. Doing intermittent fasting and struggling with just eating. What's this? Diet tips. Right. So you're doing intermittent fasting and you're struggling with eating shit. Right, mate. What I'd do, if you're struggling with intermittent fasting, I'm guessing you're just struggling as a whole with your diet and sticking to the diet that you've set out. I guess what used to work with me, I would always struggle to stay on diet unless I had something to train for. So when I competed in men's physique, obviously I had a set goal, but maybe just book in like a photo shoot for yourself and set it in like 8 weeks time, and then you have something in the back of your head every time you want to eat shit. I don't want to eat shit because I'm actually training for something. And that doesn't have to be a photo shoot that, you know, go and show the world. That could just be for yourself, something you can use to comparison for future training photos. Right, JJ Bennett 11. What was your handicap when you turned pro? I was off 2, not the lowest handicapper, I'll admit. But when I turned pro, which is now like 11 years ago, it wasn't normal to be like a +4. Like I feel like kids, I sound old when I say that. Kids are coming up now and they're like 14 years old, +4. It's just like, what? Like no one used to be at that level. Right, Jay McKenzie. When are you and Flower coming to Australia? I'd rather not be on the same plane as Flower on a trip of that length. So I'll come on my own maybe one day. I haven't got any I have no idea, mate. Exeter for Walsh. Why did you stop playing tournament golf as a young lad? I'm sure you had opportunities to play college golf. Right, yeah, I probably could have gone to America and go college, chose a different route, did the PGA. The reason that I stopped playing tournament golf was because ultimately I wasn't good enough competitively, and I put that down to not being in the right situation mentally, not being too mature enough to be a good golfer. Also not having enough tuition, like I didn't get coached at all, and I didn't have much direction. So that's why I stopped playing tournament golf. I feel like it's a bit, I don't know, not sound arrogant, but I've got like an ability to hit the golf ball. And if I did want to play tournament golf again, maybe in a few years after long drive, I'll go at a completely different way. Right, Dixie 198423. Is that like your telephone number? Any plans on a one-time vlog with Crossfield? No. So there's going to be no more vlogs of Crossfield after he called me out, and I don't know, I feel like his channel's going in an interesting direction, and I don't know, I feel like in a couple of years time I'm going to be taking over, so no. Tom Stenner Evans, you legend. Long drive goals for 2019. So the goal for next year is to ultimately have a win under my belt and to qualify for the Worlds and compete in the Worlds. Mark Sheehan 07. How does Harry style that lid? Right, well this is an interesting, right, we have a lot of conversations about Harry's hair because everyone knows the way he does it is very strange. Like Harry's head is a very strange shape, right? It's like an egg that has been melted and squashed. So it's quite, and he's got quite a large forehead. So I think he tries to hide the shape of his head with his hair, which is why it's quite big and bushy. I don't know what kind of like stuff he puts in it, but it's probably like Brill cream in it. Remember the Brill cream that you used to use when you were young, when you were a kid at 14? You like spike up your hair with Brill cream, like the green tub. Who knows how he styles it? Ben Quick, longest drive ever hit. I literally have no idea. Longest drive in competition is 402 yards, and that was with no wind and quite a dry grid. So 402 longest in comp. I mean, I don't know. Jake Bourne, what were your swing speeds roughly at 1920? Right, so at 1920, not in 1920, between the ages of 19 to 20, my swing speed was, let's look back, topping out at 126 miles an hour, I think it was back then. What stretches do you do? This is from Riogan. Mate, I apologise. What stretches do you do to maintain flexibility while building muscle? So I mean, just general stretches really. I try and stretch each muscle group out, but like I said earlier, my mobility is, I don't train mobility frequently enough as I should. So just all the standard stretches really. You should just stretch every single muscle group. Jake Ayrton, who is your inspirational player or kind of player on tour when you started to play golf? Right, this is a good question actually. So I used to be a really consistent, straight hitting 14-year-old lad playing off 4. I got down to 4. I remember, I think I told this story a few times. 2 junior opens in a row, shot 3 under one day, 1 under the next, 2 66s that was. Like, I was a good player for my age back then. Then, between the ages of 15 and 16, this is 2006, right, and this is when Bubba Watson and JB Holmes came on the tour. And all of a sudden, right, I remember seeing Bubba Watson in 2006 at the Sony Open, and it was like nothing I've ever seen before. He was like smashing these like 400-yard drives. It was all like that bomb on gouge thing. And then JB Holmes obviously won the FBR Open. It's called the Waste Management now. And through that winter between 15 and 16, all I wanted to do was hit it hard. So I literally practiced with my driver constantly, just smashing it. I went from, I literally gained 30 yards in the winter. And then that was pretty much the demise of my golf. Matt Dine, can you putt drive me now? Matt, don't try and mug me off if you can't spell, mate. Freddie C93, what's the furthest you've hit your driver? Been following since the start. Great to see you back. I've had that question, so sorry mate, but thanks for the question. And that's it. Right, that is all the questions. So thanks for tuning in and watching another vlog. Sorry I've been away for quite a while, just trying to sort a few things out, but ultimately back's feeling good, which is amazing. I was really worried. Pre-season events coming up in Germany, January, February and April. Trying to sort some kind of sponsorship for those events. And also I've got I'm speaking to a videographer, this young lad, another one actually, this because the first one wasn't reliable. And honestly, this guy, right, his stuff is unbelievable. So I'm going to try and get him into it, well, filming for me on as many videos as I can. And honestly, the production value is going to go up massively. And there's huge plans for the channel for next year. So just stay tuned. Thanks for asking the questions. And I'll do another one of these soon when I do Instagram, whatever. But as always, thank you for watching and listening to me ramble on for 16 minutes and 42 seconds while I answer your questions.